And guess what? We are so excited to have the fabulous Eric Dover back with us on the Healthy Metal Hippie. Oh my God, it's been a few months, and here we are. And now we are celebrating your latest release, Hello, the Mushroom, Volume 1. I'll show it better later.
Hello. It has been a few months. You're looking healthy and happy and heavy metal hippie-ish.
You know, I do my best, and I'm just really excited to have you back for this big moment because we were talking about it before, and now it's here.
The moment has arrived. You've been in the know for several months. Well, maybe a year beforehand as I was working on the record. So you have the insider knowledge. And you've got to see the challenges they had to go through to get it completed. But it's certainly a cathartic, wonderful feeling to have some new music out after, well, a few years. Let's just put it that way.
No, absolutely. I was listening to it a bit earlier and I was thinking about it. Several years ago, you sent me a copy of one of the early demos of Kinky Whistle. And I absolutely fell in love with that song when I first heard it because you bring like some special you just bring you perfectly to everything that you put out. And I remember saying to you something like, I love it because it's just really cool. It's really like funky, fresh, but it's also like dirty rock and roll at the same time, which is kind of what I think everybody needs a little bit more of.
I agree. What I love about that one, I guess in particular, is it's sort of, it's a little bit Lewis Carroll-ish. The lyrics and, a little bit, I wouldn't say like innuendo driven, but there's some good healthy Benny Hill innuendo in there.
Which is one of your favorites, right?
It's just all in the spirit of fun. I mean, I do hear a lot of, there's a lot of rock bands out now. Rock and roll's changed quite a bit, heavy metal just keeps getting heavier and louder, which is always good by me. But I would say that this Kinky Whistle's just more groove rock, or as T-Rex used to say, boogie. Is that how you say it over there? Or boogie? Boogie.
I like it though.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think like a lot of these songs, I don't know, like you say, I was listening and I always feel, I guess I'm looking at it going, a lot of these seem to have like a loving theme in some way. And do you want to just tell us a little bit about all the songs on here and, maybe some of the inspiration behind it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
I'll give it a go. Which song you want to start with?
Oh, let's go in order. Okay, let's go with The Only Lover.
Yes, The Only Lover. Like with any of these songs, it really has to start with the music for me. So as a musician, you go into your studio and every day you're working on something that you think is musically interesting. In the case of The Only Lover, that was a pretty easy sell to me because I really loved the riff. I could play the riff all day. I love it so much.
Mm.
And plus it just gave me a feeling of young love and, going parking as a teenager, which I know doesn't happen anymore, but almost like a David Bowie sort of sort of feeling of just being young and in love and maybe even a little hormonal. So
yes,
that one wasn't definitely inspired just from that feeling alone. Like there's a Bowie song that always gives me that feeling. It's Drive-In Saturday. It's almost a little Sha Na Na-ish and I love that kind of approach because I do like doo-wop and his music. Well, everything really. So that was kind of the idea with that one.
I don't know, and that's it. It makes you feel, you're right, exactly that young love feeling. There's that little sparkle, like when you meet somebody new and you fall in love, and it's just extra, like, I don't know. It's probably the wrong word, but I'm going to say it's kind of like cutesy romance, and I kind of love it.
Playful, you know.
Yes.
Tried to be
Playful.
playful, mirthful.
That's
You know,
exactly
there's another good word.
it.
A little bit of mirth.
Mirth, indeed.
Yeah.
No, I really, it's just, yeah. No, it makes me really happy, that song, because it's just, that's it. It is. It's light and it's lovey. And I'm a sucker for a good lovey song, you know? I'm a sucker for romance.
I am too. Yeah, I like music that will do that, because at least for me, it sort of seems to be rare that you hear one of those songs. But I mean, I do have those songs in my playlist of stuff that I like to listen to that gives me that same kind of mirthful, you know, and a little bit sassy as well. You know, like, hey baby, I really dig your vibe, but I'm not going to be a sucker. You know, like,
Yes. You know what? I also think that some of those kind of songs that I love, that they're kind of simple, you know? It's just it's exactly that. Kind of like, hey baby, I love you, and let's go for a ride down Lover's Lane or something. And that's it, you know, just being straight up and kind of like, I just love that.
or as they say in New York, hey, let's me and you have a talk. Go for a walk.
I didn't know that they said that in New York. I can't do a New York accent.
I don't have a good New York accent either. Well, I don't really have any complaints about today's music. At least I think with The Only Lover, there's a certain amount of naivety and innocence as well to it. I like that feeling better than something that's maybe too on the nose. Or, I mean, I've written songs that were over-sexualized and on the nose as well, but this one just kind of scratches a particular itch for me, so that's why I made it the lead-off single.
No, and it makes total sense to me. I do think it's perfect. I'm probably going to say that about like all the songs, because I just think it's all put together perfectly, but I could be biased.
Go ahead.
Too, so
I like that.
You know, so, okay, now let's say, so if we go to talk about Lothario, that is the one that you've actually released as the first single, where you could listen to it on all streaming platforms and find it on YouTube, the full video and everything else. This, I think this was actually the second song that you ever sent me. Yeah. Also obsessed. It's such a great song.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. It really just sort of originally started as again, back to just music. I've always been a very big fan of krautrock, kind of the post-punk thing, like Trio with Da, 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 and or Can, you know, bands where they have this like very cutting Stratocaster bite to them. So sonically, that was totally my inspiration on it. I've got my trusty Stratocaster out, and then the lyrics I kind of took from I'd heard this Spark song called Perfume, and it's about what you would imagine, perfume. And he's kind of like naming off all the brands of perfume. And I thought, cool. I think I'll just do that with names, which is not totally an original concept. You know, I think there's, Lou Bega, Mambo number 5 or something.
Yes.
I was like, well, why not? Let's just go for it. And then as I went along with it, I kind of realized that I didn't even have a title for it. But I thought, whoever this person is in the song is really lonely, aren't they? I mean, despite having all of these hookups or these girlfriends or whatever. So ultimately, the song is about alienation, inability to foster intimacy, you know. And when I did the video, I was using the cell phones communications, you know, everyone's on the phone. So I wasn't trying to make a social statement or whatever, but I think it does apply. We're always on our phone, always on technology, never face to face. And I think that adds to some of the sadness for some people, not everyone, but that was the idea.
I agree though, where we are easy to, it's easy to connect over technology or find your date on Tinder, just like all the characters and everything else. And, even it's funny because, you and I, we message a lot and things like that, but it's nice actually just to chat and see you face to face if we're not, if we're not actually like in person hanging out. But I always say this, like we are just so wired for true connection with people and actually hanging out, being physically, close to each other. That's what humans are supposed to do. So of course, definitely fucks us all up when it's strictly online and disconnected. So I think you kind of maybe nailed it.
I agree 100%. And I would like to consider myself a social person, but I'm also a little introverted. Being an artist, you have to have a lot of time with your thoughts. But social connection in real life is kind of underrated. Go out and even if it's your neighbors, I talk to my neighbors. I like being friendly with people if I can, getting to know them a little bit. I might not ever see them again, but there's just something nourishing about it, I think.
Absolutely. I'm really lucky too. I live on a street where all my neighbors are quite nice and they look out for everybody, and they just invited me to their birthday party in May and I'm all excited. And so, yeah, it's important though. I do love it, and meeting new people and just connecting. So you understand.
It was one of the
I also
greatest
love
things
my
about
alone time,
touring
but
as well. Pardon me.
no. Yeah, I can understand that, where you meet,
Right.
I mean, so many people touring.
From every walk of life. And then you'll meet some people and they feel comfortable around you. They'll just tell you all kinds of things, and I'm a good listener. So
You are a good listener. Well, we met when you were on tour with the Lost Angels, and I think I was out having a smoke and you were out having a smoke, and then we just became friends.
yeah, it was totally random, wasn't it? I remember it was South End
It
on
was.
C, right?
Yeah, exactly, at Chinnery's, and it was random, and then it was just and then I came to the Colchester show, and then, besties.
That's right. We're sending each other tea cozies.
Yes, I could do with a good tea cozy. I mean, realistically, it's more like gin and chocolate and shit.
Well, you need a gin cozy as well.
That's actually, I really like that plan.
Add that to your product
Maybe
line.
it'll keep it cold. Okay, I'm going to write it down. Gin cozy. Mm-hmm. Because anybody who knows me knows I like my gin. Mm-hmm.
Well, I do know that
It'd
about
be perfect.
you. I happen to know your favorite brand.
Yes, you do. And it's so good. I need some more of that. My sister sent me some for Christmas and I ran out.
Time to restock.
I need some more. Right? Oh, she bought me the big bottle too. Oops.
It's just so good.
Oh, well, it's okay. It is. It is. We're gonna share some soon.
One of these days, I hope to.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a good thing. So, well, let's see. So we talked a little bit about Kinky Whistle. So maybe we'll just go straight on to Spooky Boots.
Yes, Spooky Boots came about. One day I was sitting around on the guitar and I thought to myself, I wanted to write something very heavy and kind of evil, for a better way to explain it. Metal bands are really good at that. They can tone out all day. But I came up with something and I thought it was so disjointed and it was sort of, devil chords too. So I put it behind a beat. Originally, I thought I was going to use it like some kind of fucked up dubstep or something. But, it doesn't sound anything like that. But the riff would have lended itself to something like that. Then for the lyrics are really a train wreck. Like they're a train wreck of the song essentially is about what happens when you're in a relationship with someone and it's like textbook so bad that it's just destroying everybody's life. And that's the impetus of where those lyrics came from, of being in a situation with someone that is just destructive and toxic and so bad. And then there's drugs involved and you see a person destroying themselves in front of you. So it's actually a really heavy, deeper song than I imagined writing really at the time. So it's sad and evil and gothic and,
It's definitely heavy. And I really like it though. And then it changes up kind of a bit in the middle too, right? And yeah. And I think we all know somebody who's been in a relationship like that, maybe on varying degrees of shit, but.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely meant for people that have been through something like that before. And what I thought funny about it, I mean, there's no way I could ever be Queen. The closest I could ever get to that would be doing stuff with the Licorice Quartet, where we all are very good at singing together. But I did try a little bit of that Queen vibe for some of the verses. And to me, It's funny too. I mean, that was surprisingly funny, even though the song is kind of serious.
But you kind of need that too, like that little, and I agree with you. There is little funny bits where you go tee in the middle of it, but it's like, but sometimes, yeah, just that little injection of humor, it takes away that too dark feeling, like a Disney movie.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I think even if you're serious about what you do, or like in my case, I'm very serious about what I do, but I'm also try to keep a little perspective, keep a little bit of tongue-in-cheekness, because honestly, I don't think I'm that serious of a person, and I don't know why that is. I just eventually I'll start laughing at a funeral. I just happens. I don't really laugh at funerals, by the way. I just
no, but I don't know. I think it's good though to not be. You're professional, obviously, but you don't have to be like stick in the mud serious, you know what I mean? And you can still be serious without being like stick in the mud,
Yeah, because if you start getting way too serious, it just sucks all the energy out of the room. I've been in a few of those situations, and it's all about energy to me. If the energy is off in the creative process, you'll hear it. That's all.
Yes. And then nothing good comes out. And I would have guessed that the work takes like 20 times longer.
It does. I mean, there are situations with creatives where people hate each other and the energy was sucked out of the room before they ever got in the room, and it worked. But I don't know that it's not always like that. Like, I know the Police fought like cats and dogs, and as a result, they made amazing music. But I can't say that that's the general rule either. I've been in situations where, whoever the creative element of the band was that I was working with just might have been way too into seriousness. Like, there's a funny story of Steve Lukather talking on Rick Beato's show, I think, about the time he got fired from a session gig. Because, if you've ever met Steve, he's a pretty funny guy and fantastic musician, but he was playing on this client's session, and the client had a song called But Love Her was the name of the song. And so they're all hanging out in the lounge and shit. And eventually Steve goes, okay, let's go in here and cut Butt Lover. And the guy got really pissed off at him and fired him from the session. That would be me.
Yeah. Okay. How could you not laugh at that though? Like,
Well, you have to laugh. First of all, in the words of Orson Welles, show me any sentence that starts with a preposition and I'll go down on you. Using a conjunction to start your song title, you may be And I Love Her by the Beatles. That starts with a conjunction. But lover, it should, and I would love to hear the
we have
song, actually,
questions,
because
but especially if it's with two T's,
it has to be. Has to be.
there's no other way.
No. But, I mean, I probably would have done the same thing. And I don't mean anything disrespectful by it. It's just, who knows?
It's far less serious, but one time when I was in school, I was in this group and the girl was presenting and she's something about like goji berries, right? But like, okay, cool. But she said, instead of plant, she said planet. And I found it very, very funny because she said goji planet. And I was like picturing a planet with all these berry trees and bushes and I laughed in the presentation and she was so angry at me. And then she sabotaged mine. And it was like, that's the kind of thing, like, calm down. It was funny in the moment. I would not cry if somebody laughed at me saying that. But maybe I'm just not serious enough. I don't know.
Well, is that a sign of immaturity or is it a sign of wisdom? That's the question. Life is very short. So I think that we all could do well to, even if you're very serious about what you do, lighten up a little bit. There's going to be a joke played at your expense. You might as well laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's like Dimitri, my son, will say to me, like, it's not that deep, bro. And I think those are good words to live by.
That's sagely advised.
Right?
He's going to grow the Fu Manchu beard now. You're going to see him in a druidic robe with a scroll.
Maybe. Eating goji berries.
Goji berries. See, I thought you were going to go to dingleberries. That was my first thought.
That would have been good. That actually would have been good. But no. See, it wasn't even that exciting. It wasn't even as exciting as dingleberry. We were watching something the other day and there was something like juggling a lot of balls and Dimitri just burst out laughing. And I have to try and be the mature person, yeah, okay. But inside, I'm dying because it is funny.
I can't help it. There's still a part of my psyche that is 6 years old that will laugh at toilet humor. I don't know. And I do appreciate a very good delivery as well. I watch Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry. I mean, watch that sort of cerebral comedy. I love that too. But, toilet humor is kind of underrated sometimes once you hit adulthood.
Yes. And I also think there's a good way of doing it where it is extremely funny. And there's ways of doing it where you're like, okay, yeah, it's not that funny. But do you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me.
If you do it to provide a little bit of levity in a perhaps overly serious situation, or it's fine then. But, my 6-year-old mind will automatically race to, how can I say something dirty? That's the way it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's a good way to be. And it keeps you young. Keeps you youthful forever, right?
Well, I know that in my journey of self-discovery, I've learned that laughter is a coping mechanism for trauma, for sure. And I don't want to speak of any trauma of mine, but it is a coping mechanism. And some people probably get mad if someone laughs at an inopportune time, but these are emotional coping mechanisms too.
That is so true, though.
I'd rather hear laughter than tears. Even if people were laughing at me, I would rather hear that than tears.
I think you're right. I don't know. And I think, Yeah, the trauma and laughter. I'm sure it's a little too close to home sometimes. And I'm sitting there going, oh yes, I have moments where I'm like, oh, that laughter, that is the effect of trauma coming out. But it's good. It's okay.
It's totally okay. You know,
It's healing, right?
yeah, it is. Why do you think? I mean, comedians, what a hard gig that is to make people laugh. I have a lot of respect for comedians, but you look at somebody like Robin Williams, there was a lot of inner pain and things like that he was going through as well. And I think some of the funniest people have had tremendous trauma in some sort of way or another.
And that's like, I don't know. And I think it's always, you have to go, people say it all the time, but you really have to do it, is just think about everybody is going through something around you, right? And just having that little bit of compassion for them, it does make all the difference.
Certainly does. Even a person that might be mean to you or antagonizing, in the adult realm of your being, you have to understand that people lash out. Well, you see it online. You see people that are haters and you see people that are supportive, but everyone's going through something.
I mean, and I try and make a big point of really talking about all the things that I love. And if I don't like a certain song or I don't like what that person wore to something, I don't feel there's any point in talking about stuff like that. And I love that idea to just amplify the goodness out there, right? Because I think we're all really hungry for that too.
We certainly are. And nowadays, with the internet, everybody has an opinion. And that's fine. That's welcome. But, at the end of the day, you have to, going back to what we were saying about social interaction, how much of it is real, in the internet world, how much of that is real versus when you're standing in front of someone and you're talking to them, that is definitely real. So,
yeah,
we could ruminate for days.
We could do. I will say, though, I do love people. So that's a good thing.
I love a lot of people. I've been extremely fortunate to have had the friendships I've had, and even the relationships. Even the ones that didn't work out, they teach you something.
That's true. Absolutely. I think I've become extra awesome over the past few years after leaving that last relationship.
Well, you're going to increase your awesomeness. That's the good thing. As you get older, eventually you may reach a point where you're useless to society, but your awesome points are going to continue to accrue. So that's the good news. That's the wonderful thing.
I'm very excited about that.
You can redeem them at some point for tea cozies and gifts.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Sign me up.
Gin cozies.
Yes, that's it. That's like the next thing we are getting. Absolutely. So then, what about Memories Crush?
Memories Crush is actually the first song, the earliest song that I've written from that bunch of songs. And it was me trying to, just kind of felt a bit gothic and a little bit, I wouldn't say like depressed or anything, but just this ennui, if you will, to thinking about how much of that has to do with obviously what's in your head and how much of, those memories, right? Those memories, then I got to reading how, well, there's muscle memory, right? And how certain tasks you can, they're stored in your muscles, really, these memories. So it kind of, the lyrics kind of came about from just kind of thinking along those realms about maybe there's some memories you can trust and some you shouldn't. I just opened up that question, really. You can kind of read into it what you like, I think, with that lyric as well, which I've always liked. I don't like to paint it out too hard.
Yeah.
Use your own imagination kind of to see how that could apply to you or not.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things about music too, though, is that it is always open to interpretation. And maybe it was written about X but you can take it as a cue instead. And it's just like, it's nice. And it shows how much we all, I guess, how we see the world differently. It's like, it is. It's one of the best things about music or poetry.
Yeah, all of it can affect you in different ways. I've always, I mean, like every musician, I love the Beatles, and I love the way that they kept those lyrics open-ended so you could draw your own conclusions. Not everything, but a lot of it, really.
Yeah.
There's some music that I'll hear and it'll be so on the nose and sort of pandering, in my opinion. I might not get off on that as much because I don't want anybody to really tell me how to feel. But there are people that love when they hear a song that tells them how to feel, or, so there's no right or wrong way.
Yeah. No, I agree. A lot of magic out there.
My next song's gonna be, I love you, baby. Why did you leave me? And then put in a bunch of cliches and stuff. I tell you, it's going to be a hit. The label's going to love it.
That is actually going to be a hit. So wait, so will we see that on volume 2 then?
On volume 2, I have a couple of contenders already to start with, but I'm thinking about trying to go weirder and maybe less,
yes, please,
even less commercial. Like, I don't want to say prog rock, but I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, some of it could be epic, but I might write a 2-minute song or two as well. We'll just haven't painted the entire picture yet on that one.
That's okay. I'm just saying that the Baby I Love You, Why'd You Leave Me, that's got to go on there.
I've got a couple of those, actually. I think I have a few songs in the catalog at Sextus.com, which my spell check to this day is still spelling it as sexist. Thanks a lot, Apple. Where I look back and go, well, those were my feelings on paper, and I sang them, and I'm cringing a little bit, but it's just because it shows my vulnerability, listening back on it, and I've probably grown in a slightly different direction since I wrote it.
It's okay though. I don't know. I think those kind of slightly vulnerable moments too, that's when you can make those connections with people, right? Because it shows like that realness and just gives a different insight,
And I don't disown those feelings or songs. They're just like looking at an old photograph of yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people put music and songs into those terms. It's a photograph, it's a document, or it's a watercolor painting, it's sort of true in a way. You look back and see how far you may have come or didn't.
No, and I think, that's a really good way. Like reading your old journals or something like that.
Dear diary, the authorities have removed my food bowl. Yeah.
That's the cats.
Yeah.
I found some stuff that I had written like a long time ago, and I ended up throwing it out. And I'm actually so sad that I did. Because I'm talking like I was like probably 13-ish when I wrote it. And yeah, some of it was pretty like teenager whatevers, but some of it I still vaguely remember. And I'm like, it was actually pretty decent for like 13-year-old whatevers, right? And I wish I still had it so I could look back and then kind of have that reflective moment.
Yeah, it's important to really not throw that stuff out if you can help it. I've got artwork, poetry, and all of that stuff from when I was like 4, still to this day, that my sister managed to save. So it's good having an older sibling to hold on to that stuff. Yeah, I don't know if my poetry ever got any better than when I was 5 years old. It was, there you go. Life summed up.
I think, what? I think it probably did. You just have a bigger vocabulary now.
I can say less with bigger word.
Exactly. Ooh. How fancy you are.
I'm so loquacious.
Am I? Okay, then we have one more song on here. City Rain. I'm just going to show it off again.
Yes. Isn't it lovely?
It is extremely lovely. I'm like, is it in focus? We don't know.
Oh, it's a little glossy. A lot of people go for the matte finish, but I wanted it to be shiny. Don't ask me why, I just liked it.
I love a glossy moment. It's perfect.
City Rain it's my New York song. It's my Dan Fogelberg moment, kind of all wrapped together. And lyrically, it's sort of a relationship sort of thing. The song really ultimately just deals with feelings of betrayal. So they're dark. It's a dark sentiment. But I also have been, I'm always have been a fan of spy novels and movies and James Bond and any kind of espionage movie, no matter what. And it did have a little bit of that flavor to it, I thought, musically and lyrically. So it really is almost like it could be in a spy movie. It could be what was that German chick, Anna Hobley or whatever her name was, the German chick that lied to everyone? Delvey.
Right, yeah,
Anna Delvey, was that her name?
Right. She was, and with all the money and stuff, right?
Right. It's sort of,
that girl?
It could have been a song about her. I was thinking when I wrote it, it was just like, how could you get someone trusting you so much and then they just turn around and give you the old stab in the back? A little bit of her definitely went through my mind when I was writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there could be a good video for that one eventually too.
Oh yeah. You are going to do a few more videos, right?
I do have one currently planned. And you're kind of aware of the treatment of it, but I won't give away too much at the beginning. It's just that it's going to be...
Lips are sealed.
Be very outrageous and weird and fun.
And amazing.
I can get off my ass and get it finished.
You will eventually. It'll be fine. It's going to be very good.
Well, I'm going to need you to do a little bit of consulting with. You'll get screen credit.
I'm in. No, I'm so ready for it because I think it's going to be really cool.
I think so too. And I'm just happy that in 2025, I have new music out. I've had some good responses to it, the people that have ordered it, and I've seen the video. And I just want to thank everybody or anybody that's paid attention, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you want to order a delightful copy of Hello the Mushroom, okay, I got to make it so it's somehow in focus. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to. I'll overlay it on the video. How about that?
Yeah, do the fancy overlay.
But yeah, I'll make it all fancy and stuff. So then they need to go to sextus.com and you can order there and you can buy the digital downloads, right? USB drives, amazing merch. Definitely also going to insert a photo in my cool sweatshirt, hoodie. And yeah, they can find everything there and follow you. Where's the best place to follow you? On your Facebook page?
Yes. Well, there is Sextus Facebook. There's, I do have an X account and Instagram. I have Mobius Fox, but, I'm trying to get better with social media and keep more interested in it and stay in touch with bands. That's the main reason I even have it to begin with. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll link everything, then people can find you wherever tickles their fancy.
Right. I have a Patreon, Eric Dover Productions, in case anyone's interested in supporting my work. It all goes into production costs. So that's been very fortunate. Have some great Patreon supporting me there. And it just allows me to keep doing this. So very thankful.
No, it's amazing. And it's definitely worth being a patron and signing up for that as well. Then you can get your direct access to this guy right here.
And, who knows, if I get a chance, I did finally post my first TikTok. I mean, that's how far behind I am, but I plan to be as active as I can in the course of this, because I do love talking to people about music, like yourself, and just getting the word out there that, hey, I make music too. Why don't you check it out? So
Yeah. Then hopefully we'll be able to see you more on TikTok as well.
yeah, so TikTok's great because it's kind of perfect for my brain rot mentality. I mean, it's just so much fun. And again, it doesn't take much of a commitment to post on it. So you might see some daffy, wacky stuff coming from my TikTok eventually. Maybe even stuff that has nothing to do with anything other than just trying to be silly or whatever. We'll see. I have a sombrero and some costumes and things I could pull out, I guess.
Yeah, I think maybe you should.
Hey, playing dress up is fun. Let's just put it, get it out there in the open.
Well, exactly, it is. And that's like another reason that people need to go watch the video if they haven't seen it already, because you do a lot of dress up in there too.
I do a lot of dress up indeed. That was an experience. I mean, that's the first video I've ever made all by myself. I had to get get a lot of technical knowledge and learn how to do this and that. As I've said many times before, ChatGPT is a really good friend of mine lately. So, got to give props to AI for that one, honestly, because
it's a good thing though. And it made it work.
And it worked. It's going to be even better next time. What I messed up this time, I'll have fixed by the next time, I promise.
Well, you know what? I don't think that you truly messed up anything, so we'll just have an even better next one.
Right. And even if it is a little messed up, it's kind of good. Like,
yeah.
I think too, like, it's just an aesthetic observation, really, from me, but music is really, really, really perfect now. And I don't mind that, but I don't mind imperfect music either. I like that as much because I like the realness with it.
That's it. It's real. We need
that
the
mistake.
real.
It's kind of refreshing now and again.
I love no effects. And Fat Mike was saying that he's like, you know what? We're a punk band. We can go on stage and play all the wrong notes, but we're going to play them in tune at least. And I like that. So there you go. It's total imperfection, but as long as you're in tune.
I agree with Fat Mike there. He's got the right idea.
I think so. Right? And I think too, and again, that's why people are just like, yes, we love it. Beauty in imperfection.
Yeah, think about when Grimes went out and did her DJ set and it all technically screwed up. Hey, that was a good moment too. You got to see how it worked and when it doesn't work.
Right?
So she shouldn't feel bothered too much. I've had worse happen on stage, I can assure you. That's another story for another film.
That's another story. That's for episode 3.
Episode 3. Let's just put it this way. I'm not allowed to drive a golf cart in certain states. So I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, leave that one to your imagination. Well, thank you, Eric, for being again here with us today. It is always a delight to see you and to catch up. And especially now that we get to celebrate your new EP. I'm so excited. And like I say, if you haven't gone out to buy it already, it is time that you go grab it because it's just so fucking good.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I've always enjoyed us chatting and talking this and that. Hopefully we'll get over to the UK sometime and make some more rock and roll memories.
Yes. And Jen.
And Jen too. Oh, I won't let you forget that.
No, I know you won't. It is time. Well, thank you, Eric, and we will speak to you soon.
All right. Y'all take care. Thank you.